tuned for sports.
Keeping Score with Jess and Dean, the Dream.
It is Sunday, November 5th. You are looking handsome today in your new merch.
Again?
You are looking beyond handsome in your Keeping Score with Jess and Dean merch.
Because,
I was going to say limited edition, but we won't make it limited.
Lately, you've been telling me, you've been propping me up with my looks lately. So you mean it's like I look good because of the merch today?
I mean,
it's all about the merch today. It's not me.
You look good anyway. However, the merch is really making you pop.
The
really
face
is.
played well off the sweatshirt, off the hoodie.
When
like
you're doing the colors of, the Score logo, and then, of course, obviously Michael Jordan with the red, the white, and the black. Those are standard classic colors.
And look at you. You got the red headset on.
Yep.
Red. It's all red, black, all the way all the way down to the MJs. And even I went a little bit with color with the sneakers, with the kicks.
I'm proud of
it's
you.
all good, yeah.
Oh, we're looking sharp today.
Things are good for us right now.
Steve, do you want to get in front of a camera and show the crowd, everyone on YouTube? Make sure you follow us, subscribe on YouTube. Steve is wearing the merch, of course. He's our producer. He puts everything together on YouTube. So, things are... we have Mike Romano. He's the one that designed the logo. He is in his office wearing Keeping Score. We will have Nick later giving us some soccer action because I don't know anything about it. He has merch on.
I just want to say you did a great job. Obviously, you put this all together. This is sort of your baby.
Yes, it is.
And you've been so excited about it. I've seen the glow in your eye, the smile, the whole nine, and I believe in it, and it's been great. The only caveat here, the only pushback is going to be when I'm at, say, for instance, PJ's later on tonight or whatever it is, they don't get it. So when the girls, and they say, well, wait a minute, you got it on. What about us? How do we get it? Heather, hang in there a couple of weeks. Jess is working on some things.
Don't worry,
it's going
Heather.
to take a little bit of time, but it is happening.
No.
We have to take care of, obviously, putting them on our backs right now and our sponsors. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at right now. So, but things are in the works, and you've got it covered.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It's like I wanted to do a first run to make sure everything looked fantastic. Shout out to Graphic Inc. In East Providence on Warren Ave. So they put it all together. And it's a lot to undertake now because we're going to give away a hoodie today. Well, we're going to ask people to follow us on Instagram and on YouTube, and that's your chance to win a hoodie. You just tell me your size. It's a champion hoodie. It's gorgeous. You can see it on our YouTube. So we're going to this is going to be up for grabs if you follow us on Instagram and you subscribe to us on YouTube.
So you have to
tell your friends. Tell your friends.
It's sort of, you got to do the double play there. You got to subscribe on YouTube and hit us up on Instagram. That's
correct.
It. And you're the winner.
Yeah, we're going to do two. We're going to do two. So we're going to pick a winner from YouTube, and then we're going to pick a winner from Instagram.
All right.
So we have two hoodies that we're giving away. And then, we're talking about it off air. Like, we're going to do some crew necks. You're thinking the long sleeve. You like the long sleeve. Yeah. All right. So we're going to stick with the long sleeve.
You know my gear, too. So you've noticed that when you gave me the one that's got with the half flake.
Oh, you love the quarter zip.
I'm big on that.
I know, but those are very expensive.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just saying. I
just don't think that, I feel like someone would buy a hoodie. I don't, those are going to, we'd have to charge too much. And that's the whole thing.
No, and we're not here to gouge anybody. We're here to, make people happy and build the brand. And we want people to wear them, obviously. And that's how we get these numbers up and get the show kicking. And,
exactly.
Life is good.
Yeah. It is. I have no complaints. So anyway, back to the thing. You follow us on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I'm going to actually ask you to tag a couple friends in there. So this is like, you don't understand what this means. You think tag is another way. Did you see how his face just lit up?
Too much class. Yeah. Too much class.
Yeah,
I'm not touching that.
His eyeballs went like.
I'm not touching that. Too much
he's
class.
He's like, tag.
Okay.
That's.
It's been a good week.
97% of the public knows what I'm talking about. So you go on Instagram, Keeping Score with Jess and Dean, and what you do is you follow us. You like the post, and then you tag, at least two friends.
It's been a good vacation. It's been a good vacay.
And so that'll get you qualified. Then for another hoodie, idiot, you go to our YouTube channel, which Steve does a lot of work on that. You subscribe, and that's another way for you to win a Keeping Score hoodie. And then we're going to start next week. We're going to be taking orders.
Yes,
and
that's what the whole tag thing's all about. I got to get my head out of the clouds. I'm ready to work here.
Well,
ready to work here.
Let's get right
November
to it.
5th. We're already in November. This is great. We got the swag on. We got the merch.
Yep.
There's nothing better than this.
No, we're coming up on a couple solid good weeks right now.
Yeah, and now we're going to talk about the Pats.
Yeah, so let's bring it all downhill. Here we go.
Matt takes it on 3rd and 4. Stands in, throws across middle court, catches 10, runs left 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, off the takeaway for the Patriots.
Where the hell has this offense been?
Tagovailoa loads up, throws a deep ball for Tyreek Hill with steps and a catch and a touchdown Miami. Snap to Tagovailoa, quick throw, slack to Wilson, caught in the end zone, touchdown Dolphins. Takes the snap, give to Mostert, runs it left, and easy, waltz in, touchdown Miami.
Kick field goals all day long. And we've been on the other end of that for 20 years.
Jones leans forward, takes the snap, dropping back, pressure. He's wrapped up. He throws the ball high downfield, and now Brandon Jones of Miami leaping to knock it down. And now you've got
good
players spilling
there
off the Dolphins sideline. And
Dolphins are coming off their bench. Look at this. They're going to get thrown out of the game. They got personnel coming off their bench. I've never seen this.
Several times.
Oh, we got some more here going on.
Today,
there we go.
There have been very small skirmishes, but now things are heating up.
Things are heating up, but not for the Patriots being in the end zone. Last week, we just knew the Patriots were going to lose. We've been saying that all year. But what I did think they were going to do was at least cover the spread. They look so good against the Bills, and I'm just like, all right, maybe we got something here. But nope, we don't. Wrong answer.
No, and you hate to pin it on one play, Jess, but definitely late in the first half, the Mac Jones, when he threw rain down the left sideline and forgot that Jalen Ramsey, probably one of the top 3 or 4 cornerbacks in the NFL.
It's almost like he baited him into throwing it.
Yeah, pretty much. He wasn't there, then he was. But again, when you don't have enough oomph to the ball,
right.
it takes a while to come down. And that was a game changer because that was the Patriots driving for a score there, at least to get 3, possibly 7. You take that off the board, big swing there. And I know there was a fumble in the second half. Tua threw a pick, during the first half. So, but the moral of the story here is the Miami was sort of trying to give the Patriots the game, or at least, like you said, keep them in the game at least enough to cover. And the Patriots couldn't even sustain that. And of course, their cornerbacks got lost. There was a lot of miscommunication. Even though Duggar had a pick and a nice sack in that game,
he's excellent.
He played terrific. I know he wasn't traded.
Did you hear I just said Duggar?
He wasn't traded at the deadline, but obviously there's a guy. If you didn't trade him at the deadline, you better friggin' sign him because he's a ball player. Sign him. I thought Uche was going to get traded. We'll talk about that later. But this game itself, you saw Juju Smith-Schuster finally come off the cotton for a 3-yard touchdown. He's been dreadful, and at that point you thought it was a football game, but the Patriots got lost. I don't know if there was a cover 2 or there's some miscommunication, but nobody had the receiver running down the middle, uncovered. So I don't know who botched that, whether it was J.C. Jackson. I don't know who it was on that play, but those things can't happen. Bill usually puts his guys at least in the right spot, and I didn't see it there. You
know what Mac Jones is? He's a boner killer. You know why? Because the team is doing good, and then they have a little bit of a flow, and then you can count on him throwing like an interception and or a pick 6.
Yeah, a lot of pick 6s this year, but it's usually, and I told you this last week, now with 8 interceptions on the year, it just seems to me like every interception is crucial.
Yes.
You never see a pick where you say, you know what, the defense came out, they got a 3 and out, and it's like it never happened. No points were scored. Every time he throws a pick, it hurts. And and they just don't have the margin for error. They don't have the personnel to overcome it. And the Patriots in this one dropped, of course, 2-6 with a 31-17 loss. And obviously we were hoping for a possible streak in them, and it's not going to happen.
No streak. It's like more like skid marks is what we got going.
This is graphic here. Early innings on keeping score. That's a lot.
I'm sick. I'm just sick over it. They're terrible, and I'm not used to this. Now, am I saying we need to win? Why aren't we winning the Super Bowl? I'm not even saying that.
You're not asking for that.
I'm just asking you to look decent. Yeah. Like we won for so many years, and we were very fortunate, and I appreciate all of that, and I would never take any of that for granted. But at least look like a football team. Like, you knew Tom Brady was leaving. This wasn't a shock to anybody, and you built nothing.
I think you'd be happy just to preclude yourself from going to red zone. Yeah. You at least watch the game.
Right.
But they're making it really tough. That's a tough watch every week. And, of course, the Buffalo game now is an admiration. That was just one day they decided to all of a sudden come out and look like a functional football team. But we didn't see – it definitely didn't carry over.
And what do you feel about the trade deadline? Are you shocked? I'm not shocked that they didn't do anything.
No,
I just feel like they should give their players that they actually that perform for them money, and they still don't do that.
Right. So obviously, like I told you this a couple of weeks ago or last week, if you've got guys that you know you're not going to re-sign or they're going to price themselves out, if you're not going to give Josh Uche a type of contract that he believes he's worth, then you move him at the deadline. There's no point in keeping him for a season that's already lost. So obviously, Uche wasn't moved. Nobody was moved. Kendrick Bourne could have been moved. He scored that first touchdown in the game, but of course, tore his ACL later in the game. Too bad for him. We wish him well. He's a guy that was probably one of the guys that everybody said would have some value for another team. But again, would you want to trade him even though the season's lost because he is your top receiver. So they probably would have kept him anyways. But it's unfortunately he got hurt, so there's no value there. But the Patriots did nothing, and it's typical Bill. It's just like you're hanging on. What are you hanging on to? Figuring maybe if he keeps his core together, he might get 3 or 4 more wins to trend him towards Shula more. But it's not helping us.
No.
It's not helping
and no
us
one's
feel like
gonna
we're
care
putting
if
the
he
next
has all
team.
these losses that keep adding up at this point.
It's funny, you and I talked about it on the K-Max show the other night about, you said that about the percentage would start going down.
Right.
And we had Peter from Connecticut on, and he actually he reached out to me later, and he had the numbers on it. And Shula had like a 677, I think, winning percentage. Belichick's at like 655. So as you said, it's starting to go down the more the losses start piling up.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how Shula's career kind of ended too. He had Marino, but he was kind of winning the 8-9 games. He was sort of just limping to the finish line. It looks like this is what we're doing all over again here.
Right, but my thing is like if you are not going to beat the percentage of Shula, because I don't know if we're going to win another Super Bowl with Bill Belichick, right? So if you're not going to beat the percentage, then who cares anyway? But then it's just like, all right, well, you beat him, but you're still not. I mean, I don't know, because you played whatever. Either way, no one cares. Win games.
Nobody cares.
How about win
games? Win games.
So today at 1 o'clock, they're at home taking on the Commanders. Commanders took a hit during the trade deadline.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of movement in trades, and you didn't see a lot in this trade deadline, but they were busy. And obviously with Ron Rivera struggling to keep his job right now, with offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy lurking, he could be the next guy in line. And I said before the season, Rivera could be the first coach canned, and it could happen. He better win this game, because I think a loss against New England is not going to help his resume, and I think they're getting a little impatient up there in Washington. So obviously you trade your top two of your 3 top linemen, Chase Young, who was the number 2 pick 5 years ago. Montez Sweat went to the Bears. Young goes to the 49ers. That's a terrific move for them.
It really is.
After they lost 3 straight games and they're on a bye right now, so they're gonna get healthier, and they're gonna get better with the addition of Young. So obviously they limp into town short on that front 7. You expect the Patriots with Stevenson and Elliott to try to run the ball straight up the middle. That's going to be the play. Question is, and the problem is on the other side of the ball, even though they are a little thin, Mac Jones has had a problem when guys coming down the middle. Now, so that's been his issue.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So like
he gets scared.
Well, that's where all the trouble's been coming from. That's where he's been making poor decisions as that front 7 comes his way. So there's a lot it's going to be won and lost in the trenches. And I know we said we weren't going to pick them again, but this because they're at home, they're only a 3-point spread there. So I mean, I'm liking New England in this game. I think at 2-6, and I think I told you this last week. If they were to win this game, it's not going to really help them much. But I mean, they do have, they go to Germany, I believe, for the Colts, and there are some winnable games coming up. And then they got the bye, and they have the Giants. There's games that are winnable, and I'm not saying that they're chalks, but they're winnable games where they could win the next 3 and get to 5-6. It's not impossible.
All right. I don't know about today. I'm still not in. I still may be going with the Commanders.
Well, Sam Howell's been running for his life, but 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, so he's got the same amount of picks as Mac. But he's got his weapons are a little bit better on offense as far as throwing to the tight ends. You got the kid McLaurin, he's pretty good. He can catch the ball. There's some guys there that can play a little bit. But if I'm Washington, I feel like the sails have been taken out of me after losing two important down linemen that were that was a big part of their team was that front 7. So,
right. But would they do that knowing that there wasn't someone to back them up? I feel like, they're going to have, it's not like there's no one going to fill the spot. So
I kind of like what Washington did. If you feel like you got a guy, I think Sweat was on an expiring contract. He's his 5-year rookie deal was going to be up. So I think Chase Young, who was the number 2 pick 5 years ago, they didn't even pick up his 5th-year option. So they were moving on from these guys most likely anyways. Move them, get something for them, flip them for a 3rd rounder, 4th rounder, get something for these guys. And the Patriots decided to stand pat and not do that. And it is disheartening when you're looking at a team 2-6 going nowhere fast.
All right. Well, that's what we're going to do for today. So what do you do you think you have any more of the analysis that you want to present for this game at 1 o'clock at home? I mean, they're at home.
Yeah.
That should be a benefit.
You're playing Washington, a team that's a storied franchise. The Patriots obviously had a great 20 years, but I mean, Washington, you go back, you're thinking of Theismann and the Hogs and John Riggins, and they had some really good teams 30 years ago, but they haven't been good for a long time. Daniel Snyder, one of the worst owners in the history of the NFL, they're pretty much trying to push him out the door. I guess he's still there, but that's a dicey thing. He's a terrible owner, so you're never rooting for him. But I am a Ron Rivera fan. I hate to see anybody lose their job, but I think this is I don't want to say a do or die game, but he could get chopped if he doesn't win this game. But I do like New England in a close one. I don't see New England pulling away from anybody.
Okay.
But I think New England wins a close game.
All right. So what we're going to do is thank our sponsors, and then we're going to do our picks of the week. Want to thank our sponsor, Prout Mechanical, located in Providence. You can call them up at 401-487-4343. Even visit them online at prouthvac.com. That's prouthvac.com. They're a family-owned company. They have over 20 years of experience. They're a Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Diamond Elite contractor. They have the heat pumps, the mini-split ductless systems, and if you're looking to heat up your home, the mini splits are the way to go. They're located in Providence and they service all of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. They offer services for residential and light commercial. So if you are looking at getting those heat pumps or mini split ductless systems, may I recommend Prout Mechanical in Providence. Their motto, quality and customer service is their top priority. Call them up, 487-4343. We also want to thank Second Time Around Sports. By the way, did you drop off Joe's sweatshirt?
I did.
All right, fantastic. I hope he wears it proudly. Talking about keeping score merch. But if you want all the merch, head to Second Time Around Sports, locations in Cranston and in Wakefield. They are fully stocked. Now, obviously, they have the sporting gear, football, baseball, basketball, of course, and golf. But they also have, like, swag. They have T-shirts, they have sweatshirts, they have sneakers that you purchase.
Caddyshack microfiber towel.
Which obviously...
I inhaled it. My first purchase.
You held it around like as if someone was going to steal it from you throughout the day. By the way, you can check it out on our Instagram, Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. We have a video of us doing some shopping and checking out the golf simulator and shooting room for hockey. Oh, it's priceless. Get to our Instagram. But you want to follow Second Time Around on Instagram. It's the number 2X Around Sports. And if you want to buy some new items, you can do it on their website. It's everysportforless.com. That's everysportforless.com. And we're talking about Second Time Around Sports. All right, so let's go and look at the week. Let's do a little review, though. We had Tennessee at Pittsburgh. I got to tell you, I thought Tennessee looked pretty good considering Will Levis is only his second game. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but
you like
it
him.
Was pretty close. I do. I think he's probably a punk in real life, but I thought he looked good. He looked confident. He's big out there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I mean, if he's a punk that does his homework and he's not a punk like Johnny Manziel was, where he doesn't look at the playbook and then is out of the league
Doesn't
in
watch
2
the
years.
iPad, yeah.
So I mean, this kid looks like he cares and he's got a little edge to him because he thought he should have went higher in the draft. I'm the best quarterback.
Something
I get
to
it.
prove.
Win games. Go out and win games. And right now, it's that team's in trouble. They're not very good. Vrabel's got his hands full there, but it looks like Tannehill may not sniff the field again. This kid could be the guy. Yeah. We saw 4 touchdowns in his first game. Took a little step back on Thursday night, but still, this was a close game. And this is all about Mike Tomlin here for Pittsburgh because let me tell you something. That offense is dreadful at Pittsburgh. Najee Harris had an early touchdown in the game. Deontay Johnson got the late touchdown to win it for Pittsburgh. But Pickett hasn't done a great job at quarterback. 160 yards in this game, 19 for 30. Did have the touchdown to win it. But this is Mike Tomlin who just finds a way to win football games. I don't know about the reference to with little Jess to Mike Epps, but I mean he is a terrific, terrific head coach. And by the way, he's been there since 2008, I believe. Never had a losing season. He had a couple of 500 seasons, 8-8, 8-8, 9-7. Never been under 500. Mike Tomlin's a terrific coach, and at 5-3, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to be right there till the end. Yeah, and
somehow. And the other thing I want to say about Will Levis, I think he has something to prove, especially since I think his girlfriend dumped him. So, yeah, I think she dumped him. Rumor has it, Morgan Wallen, country star.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Just,
by the way, one other thing, Jess, is just to marvel at Mike Tomlin. I just keep giving him more credit. Is the fact that
do you want a terrible towel or something?
No,
you're
I
really going
don't.
for it.
I remember
with this
that
guy.
in the show This Is Us in the first episode. That was a big thing because they were from Pittsburgh.
I refuse to watch that show. This Is Us.
Really?
What are you going to be, a cry fest? Oh, give me a break. Here's your tissues. No way. No way.
Heartless. My pot is heartless. That was one of my favorite shows.
If I'm going to cry, I'll just look at my life.
I think I'm going to admit that they took it 1 year too far. They should have ended it a little sooner. But for three,
I didn't know I struck a chord.
For the first 2 or 3 years, it was one of my favorite shows. I love shows that flash back to the era, like back to the 70s and then back. Yeah. Then they went ahead too far, and then I get a little confused. But it was terrific, and I thought
so the
ending,
Wonder Years are probably.
I thought the ending sucked, but I loved the show.
Okay.
Let me finish my point on Pittsburgh.
Yes.
By the way, they're only one of 2 teams in the NFL this year that have a negative point differential. So they've given up more than they've scored, and they're 5-3. So that's a testament
Wow.
to coaching and finding a way to win those close football games. I believe Cincinnati's the only other team with that same distinction so far.
All right, well, let's get to the first game of today. It's just about an hour from now. It's Miami. It's not technically at Kansas City. Where are they playing today? Is it not Germany?
Yes,
Is it Germany?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So that game's about to start at 9:30. So Kansas City giving them 2 points. I don't know. I like Miami. I'm on the Miami train. I'm a Dolphins
you're
fan
gonna
right
you're
now.
gonna take Miami, and of course, I'll tell you. We can chalk it up to the flu. I know Mahomes was sick, but I mean, inexcusable to go down to Denver and
To the
lose.
Broncos?
You know, well, they've been improving a little bit. Just saying. But anyways, in this game, of course, I agree with you on Miami, but I'm still going to take KC and go against the grain, only because Miami has to prove to me they can get a signature win. They're 6-2 on the
True.
season. They've beaten nothing but bad teams. They've beaten New England twice. You know what I mean? They've beaten some really bad teams, and the only good team that they really play was Buffalo, who's not great either.
Yeah, and they
crushed them. So you know, what I mean? So I'm going to go Kansas City. I think Mahomes doesn't lose 2 in a row. And like you said, it's a neutral site. Nobody, it's not a home game for anybody. But I'll take the Chiefs.
All right, Minnesota at Atlanta. Minnesota no longer has Kirk Cousins because he's going under surgery. So they got Dobbs,
They
right?
got Joshua Dobbs from Arizona, who came over from the Ravens. So
Yeah.
he's been on the move. It's his third team in about 4 months. But of course, he's not going to play in this game. They're going to go with the kid Hall, the 5th-round pick out of BYU.
Okay.
He was okay coming in for Cousins in that game. But this game's at Atlanta, and Atlanta finally benched Desmond Ridder, who I'm not big on. They're going to go with Taylor. Don't call me Heineken. It's Taylor Heineke.
Oh,
He's decent.
not as fun.
He was decent when he was in Washington. He battled Brady in a playoff game a couple of years ago. I'm taking Atlanta at home with Heineke at quarterback. I like what he can do.
Yeah, and the spread was 4. I don't know if that's Atlanta giving them 4. Arizona at Cleveland. Cleveland giving them 8. I am going with Cleveland on this. They do pretty good in the dog pound. So
Yeah, and of course, Arizona, they lost Dobbs. They traded him, so they're going to go with Clayton Tune. Nobody knows anything about
Clayton?
him. He's the next guy up. So I'm with you. I like Cleveland in this game.
All right, L.A. Rams taking on. I can just shut the mic off when you're done. L.A. Rams taking on Green Bay. Green Bay, you're done. I don't even understand what's been happening with them, but I'm going with the Rams. Green Bay's still giving them 3, but as you said, like before, it's a home game.
Jess,
so.
I'm with you. I think, and then of course now it's starting to get a little ugly there already because I think the GM came out and wasn't committing to Jordan Love as the next guy, meaning like, we'll see, there's a lot of games left, but we may not have the guy here, so he needs to stop proving he can get it done. 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, almost 1,500 yards passing, but Green Bay's been a disappointment. I thought they'd be a little, kind of like win one, lose one, at least be a 500
like
team,
500.
and they're not showing it right now. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Rams.
All right, and then we had said we're going with New England. I'm going actually with Washington, New England today. 1 o'clock game. Chicago at New Orleans. 8.5 is what New Orleans is giving Chicago. How do you feel about that game? Straight up, I'm going New Orleans.
Well, yeah, I'm with you, Jess. And New Orleans at 4-4 playing the Bears. They're licking their chops right now. They see a weak team coming to town with the kid Tyler Baggan. He's going to get another crack at it with the Bears. They got smoked on Monday Night Football. Alvin Kamara's starting to get the ball, out of the backfield and in the backfield. 39 receptions, 320 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns so far. They're at 4-4. Carr hasn't lit up the scoreboard yet, but I think that they get it going here and they improve to 5-4. I like New Orleans big in this game.
All right, very good. We got Seattle at Baltimore. Baltimore giving them 6. I do like Seattle. I don't know about the spread, but I'm going Baltimore straight up.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think we share the same sentiment here with Seattle. Like, win or lose, they're in every game. I like what Geno Smith looks like. He is the guy there now. You know what I mean? And then the running back, the kid Walker's been pretty good.
Metcalf is good.
But in the backfield for Baltimore, give Gus Edwards a little bit of credit. With J.K. Dobbins going down with another ACL, they were looking for a guy to step up and run the ball. Edwards, 426 yards and 5 touchdowns, 4.1 yards per carry. I like Baltimore and Lamar Jackson to improve to 7-2.
Very good. And then we have Tampa Bay at Houston. Houston giving Tampa Bay 2.5. Why is that?
Strictly because they're at home. I think that they think that, they've been a little bit better than everybody thought they would be. C.J. Stroud's been terrific as a rookie. I think we both feel that Mayfield and Tampa's been a little bit better, but they seem like they've been coming back to the pack a little bit in this one. This one's a coin flipper. I think a lot of people like Houston in this game. I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Oh, Steve, where are you going? Houston or Tampa Bay? Tampa? All right, we're going Tampa Bay it is.
Oh,
All right.
Steve out of the pen.
Well, because I didn't know on that one.
Well, we used him last week because I came up lame, and then you said, and I think he hit it. He said,
did.
Was it Pittsburgh and Jacksonville game? He said
Yes, Jacksonville. Yep.
Jacksonville won that one on
He
the
got
road.
it. So, yeah, that's what we got him. Indy at Carolina. Carolina getting 2.5. Hey, they had their first win last week in dramatic fashion.
I went with them.
Yes, you did.
I went with them. I'm not going with them again. Okay, just so you know. Okay, Indy. I know Minshew's been up and down, but Indy's they got more personnel there, even though they're on the road. I'm going to take Indy Indy in this game. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Frank Reich's old team that let him go and fired him last year.
Well,
so he's looking for a little bit of revenge, but I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, you got the Giants at Vegas. Vegas sucks. They sat Jimmy Garoppolo, so they have their backup quarterback. But do you think he can do enough for the win?
Okay, first of all, I love teams that come off of like big moves. So obviously Josh McDaniels was showing the door along with general manager Dave Ziegler. And Antonio Pierce is the new head coach. They're the interim head coach who won a Super Bowl ring with the Giants years ago. So he's going against his old team. I love it wears off after a while, but those initial few games under the new coach, if I'm Antonio Pierce, I'm going to start doing some things different because it didn't work on the Josh McDaniels. Obviously, he was showing the door after a season and a half for the second time. The same thing happened in Denver.
If they take him back at the Patriots, we're not going to the recycling bin.
I know a little something about that, but the bottom line is McDaniels like they go on 11 games in 2 years, and sadly enough, 2 against the Patriots, which makes us wonder how bad the Patriots are.
Exactly.
But I'm saying with Antonio Pierce, if I'm him, I'm putting a game plan together. I don't know. I think I'm going to try to make sure number 17, Devontae Adams, gets the football. And I don't care who's quarterback, and I don't care if it's Plunkett, but it looks like it's going to be Aiden O'Connell.
Yes.
The galloping chicken, he got sent to the bench for splinters. He will be holding a headset.
But they did wish him happy birthday on their social media page.
How old is Jimmy G? 31, 32
no, he's
maybe?
Just banging a bunch of chicks. He
doesn't
loves
care.
being in Vegas. He does not care if he's playing or not.
No,
he just flashes a smile and bangs everybody.
But obviously they didn't trade Devontae at the deadline. Obviously he's a $30 million receiver. A lot of teams weren't going to take that nut on. But I still think if they start getting the football to him a little bit more, they're going to win this game. I'm going to take them over the Giants. And the Giants have problems all over the place on that team, even in the kicking department.
I know.
I mean, the Graham Gano and on IR, they're bringing Rodney Bullock in to come in to off the scrap people, off the practice squad. So they got kicking issues. Tyrod Taylor got out of the hospital after a rib injury the other day. So I guess Danny Dimes will be back in there.
Oh, well, good. So he can run
good for who?
So he can run for his life. I think good for Giants fans. I actually don't know. I was just flashing back to a highlight that I'm going to play back with you saying nut. All right.
I knew it.
Dallas. I'm just writing.
You look perplexed. Is that an edit?
Oh, yeah. You're definitely, because what my face displayed when you said that was ridiculous. All right. Dallas at Philly. Philly giving Dallas 3 points. This, I think, will be a decent game, but I feel like Philly's going to come out on top on this one.
This is a big game for Dallas, and everybody's looking. It's like, wow, is it a do-or-die game? Yeah, if you want the division, it is. You're at 5-3. Philly's at 7-1. You better win this game. Who's going to stop A.J. Brown? 939 yards receiving with 5 touchdowns. Of course, Steph Gilmore, if it was the Steph Gilmore from the Patriots in 2018, Defensive Player of the Year, I like Dallas's chances. He's 4 years later, longer in the tooth. I don't think anybody can stop A.J. Brown. And, of course, Jalen Hurts, they're still starting to say all of a sudden he's injured again.
His knee,
but,
I
yeah, there's something there. But he's been better the last couple of weeks, actually. So I'm seeing Philly trending in the right direction. In Dallas, they need this for a signature win, but because it's on the road at Philly, I'm going to take the Eagles.
All right, very good. Buffalo at Cincinnati. Cincinnati giving them 2. I'm out on Buffalo, so I'm going Cincinnati. I don't care.
Well, let's face it, Cincinnati looked real good against San Fran on the road.
Yeah.
And it's all about the leg. Joe Burrow looks healthy. He's making all the throws. Their defense is coming around with Hendrickson on the defensive line. Joe Mixon's running the football pretty well. And of course, Jamar Chase and Burrow got it going again. T. Higgins is healthy. He's starting to get his pieces there with Boyd. It's all coming together for them, and I'm glad I didn't get off their bandwagon because I almost gave up on them. So obviously I'm going to take Cincinnati in this game, and with a 2.5 point spread, 2 points.
2 points.
They are my pick of the week also.
Oh, all right. Very good.
Okay, so
know.
I just think Josh Allen, he's been too
They're
up
a
and
mess.
down. I don't know what's going on in McDermott. He needs W's.
Yeah.
He's on the hot seat, I think, a little bit. Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Well, yeah, because they haven't.
I don't think
they haven't come to the end.
I don't think they would can him mid-season, but I think if they don't go at least to the AFC Championship game, he's gone.
Okay.
And I think they'd clean house there, and Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, would be gone also because their play calling and their offense isn't the same when they had Dayball there.
Could we get Josh Allen?
No.
Okay. And finally, for a Monday Night Football, we got the Chargers taking on the Jets. The Jets at home, they're getting 3.5. I mean, the Jets, listen, they exceeded expectations not having Aaron Rodgers in my book. Do I think they're going to come out and win this game? Probably not, but I kind of like them.
Winners of 3 straight. That game against the Giants last week was awful. It was 10-7 for like 3 hours, and the Giants gave up a fluke. Zach Wilson looked like Zach Wilson again for most of the game, but he made 2 or 3 throws on that last drive with like 24 seconds left.
And he can zip it in. Like
he's got an arm. He's got an arm, and he zipped a couple in. Just throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. Go to your bread and butter. I don't know what these guys are thinking, but they found a way to get a kick in over, to get it to overtime. And of course, the kid DeVito, not related to Danny DeVito, he was just handing off. It was like they wanted to lose the game. It was like Daboll was throwing the ball sideline to sideline. He wouldn't let the kid throw the ball down the field, and of course, the Jets kick a field goal and win that game with Zerline. That was strange, but the Jets are finding a way, and again, we're not Jets fans, but I think we're both respecting what they're doing right now, and I don't see any reason why they can't win this game. I'm not even going to pick this one. Okay, if you want to go to Steve on this one, because I'm telling you, I'm disgusted with the Chargers. I can't watch Herbert and the coach anymore. I'm tired of hearing about how great statistically is. They don't win games.
Yeah,
they're at 3-4. They killed the Bears. This game could go either way. It's a coin flip. I actually would root for the Jets in this game. I don't like the Chargers.
Oh, I'm definitely rooting for the Jets. I just didn't think they'd win, but maybe with the spread
right,
they will.
Steve,
for the corn flip.
Yeah, here you go.
Tie.
Oh,
wow. No! You got to pick Chargers or
Jets.
Jets. All right. Wow. All right, we're going for it. That could be our.
That's our play.
That's what we're going to do.
And that's a cap on week 9.
That is. All right. So before we get to baseball, we're going to thank our sponsor, The Gentleman. We love The Gentleman, and we love them even more because on Tuesday, November 14th, it's Gents Giving. So you're going to go to this, right? You're going to go to The Gentleman.
Yep.
You're going to bring in a canned good to donate and enjoy a complimentary Thanksgiving buffet. Oh, we should talk about you making fun of me talking about Thanksgiving sides, but we'll do that later. Last year, they donated over 700 pounds. There's going to be cigar specials. It's open at 2 o'clock. Dinner is served at 6. Obviously, donations are accepted all day and all night, so even if you can't stay by and have the turkey dinner, you can definitely just pop in at The Gentleman in Cranston. Most needed items: peanut butter and jelly, canned fruit and veggies, tuna and canned meat, pasta and pasta sauce, stews and soups, whole grain rice, and baby formula. Once again, it's Gents Giving, happening Tuesday, November 14th at The Gentleman, East Street in Cranston, all for a great cause. And now we are going to, we're not going to baseball, we're going to basketball. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Round ball.
Tatum on the wing. Up fakes a 3, drives on Neesmith, runs it off the glass and in. Too easy.
These guys, is a white flag out there?
It feels like Jason Tatum rolled out of bed into a 30-point, 10-rebound game tonight. Tatum backs it out into the right corner. Tatum dribbling between his legs, steps back, right corner 3 is good. This is a different level of NBA that Jason Tatum is operating at right now, and he does not have a lot of company. Colossal beatdown. But tonight, the bench holds its ground, extends the lead. The clock hits triple zeros, and the Celtics make a statement. A 37-point lead at Washington Monday night, and that was nothing. On their way to a 51-point win here at the Garden to go to 4-0 for the first time in 14 years. The final score, Boston 155, Indiana 104.
155. I'm liking the score, and save it for some other games, boys.
And I think when I text you to tell you that, you said was that a record, and I think it was their second most ever since 19, going way back. But in this one, I'm just saying, if you get 155 dropped on you, I have to assume that Rick Carlisle's boys with the Pacers quit. That's really tough to lose by 51. Now, granted, they didn't have their star point guard Tyrese Halliburton, but I don't think he's making up 51 there. Okay, but obviously this is more about the Celtics here and their balanced attack. And I was actually watching the beginning of this game, and I saw the first play of the game. They let Holiday go down on the box, and he just got an easy bunny right off the bat. It looks like they're just picking and popping and doing whatever they want to do, getting guys involved. You're writing more stuff down, okay? But Jason Tatum,
just said, go down.
Jason Tatum, 30 points, 9 rebounds. There could be a potential edit. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. But I'm going to keep the flow going, and I'm loving the way the Celtics are playing early in the season. And I don't know where you're going with any of this, but it's been totally misconstrued. All I said is they let Holiday go down on the box. That's a basketball term. I can't. Now that I said it again, I guess I can see where it could be blown out of proportion. You're killing my flow.
Oh, sorry.
You killed my flow.
Listen, 33 minutes in. I don't even know if we can keep that in, but we're going to. We'll see what happens.
Oh,
I can't even breathe.
All right, come on. I'm serious now.
These sweatshirts are really
hot. I should have worn the 3/4 tee. I don't know. You know, I had that all prepped too.
Oh,
I had that.
great. You wrote that down like that.
No, I didn't write that.
My makeup's all over my face.
All right, Jewel Holiday was posted up to open up the game. They posted him up, and he did a nice job.
Nice job.
But he scored the first basket of the game, and the Celtics never looked back. Okay?
Yes, they look fantastic.
Yeah, no, obviously, through the first 4 games, 4-0, they look terrific. I mean, they just, Porzingis averaging like 18 a game as a third guy. They've got it rolling. Derek White, I told you, has been a revelation. Almost 16 points a game. Defense, offense, he's been shooting efficiently. I think 7 for 10 from the floor. He's been great. I went out west there and I watched a couple of games. There was a back-to-back Phoenix and San Antonio. They played like back-to-back games. And this is different now. I think they do it in the same building, meaning like maybe for travel purposes. Usually they go like one game and then you go back to their place and then come, Now they just stay in there, and it was crazy because I saw Wembanyama do his thing, man. He can do it.
He had, 9 points in the fourth quarter or something like that?
He had 38 the other night.
Oh, my God.
38 and 10.
He's going to be fun.
And the first game against Phoenix, they were down 20. They came back. They came back from 20 down. Come on.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm locked in over here.
Oh, I got to take my glasses
So they came back from 20 down, okay?
Yeah.
And it was a crazy play. They were down 3 in the final seconds. And there was a crazy stat saying that Greg Popovich, in 20 years of coaching, has never pulled a game out where they were down 3 or more with 10 seconds left in the game. But that aside, Wembanyama got an easy dunk to cut it to 1. Phoenix inbounds the ball to the corner. Cardinal sin. You played basketball your whole life, Jess. You don't throw the ball to the corner where you can get trapped.
Yeah.
They threw the ball to the corner. A lot of these guys just assume they're going to get fouled. So, of course, Durant.
Well, that's what they always do.
Your boy Durant, who you say is paper thin, they throw the ball to the corner to him. 3 guys go around him. There's no call. The kid Keldon Johnson rips the ball out of his hands. No call. It was clean. Took it and went to the hoop, drove in and got the game-winning basket. And they ended up winning the next night when Wembanyama scored 38 with 10 rebounds.
Wow.
So, yeah, he's averaging through his first 5 games 20 points and 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks through his first 5 games.
Beautiful. I'm glad that's working out
He's
for him,
legit.
though, because, that's a lot of pressure going first in the draft,
And I told you that the networks are going to keep televising him. I've seen almost every one of his games so far because I'm a night owl, so I'm up while you're, and you have a real job the next morning.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I wouldn't go that crazy, but I go to work.
You definitely you went past your curfew at the cave,
Yeah.
Well,
and then I had
good
to do,
time was
I had
had
to
by
do,
all.
Yeah, it was, but I had to do work. What I will say about the Celtics game when they were up, and I know that they were going to take out, Tatum, I don't know, has he even played that much in the fourth quarter? He didn't even play at all.
I like that.
I know, so you can rest them up so we can avoid them getting hurt.
Yeah, and you get to see the fourth quarter, see some of these guys, I know it's garbage time, but some of these guys, it's valuable minutes to try to see who can play on that second unit.
And that's what I was going to say. It looked like a JV team was out there for the Celtics.
That's
It really
hurtful there.
I mean,
I told you the bench
Pritchard
was weak. Yeah, Pritchard had like 15 and 9 that night, but the game before he was like 0 for 8.
Right.
But he had some assists and rebounds, but they're going to need him. Someone has to pop on that second unit. You saw a couple of guys that are just fringe guys. The kid Banton.
I couldn't believe it.
Cy Mihalik, who's been on 7 rosters. I mean, they're scraping for someone. Sam Hauser was lighting it up from 3, hit a few shots. So
yeah, you got
they got to
those,
get him going.
You got those two, but I literally looked at it. I'm like, this is like a JV game. Like these are the scrubs, kind of. But either way, they're looking great. I'm very excited for the Celtics season. Do you want to talk any more about that? Because we got only 23 minutes left, and we have a lot to cover.
No, and out west, I told you about Dallas last week. I think it's going to be a big year for Luka. They're out of the gates. He's averaging like 33 a game. They're winning. You got Kyrie on that team, and they're just a little bit thin up front. They're gonna. I like them in the West this year. They're my little dark horse team to compete with to try to give Denver a little bit of a run.
Oh, good, because Denver is very, very strong.
Yeah.
They're very, very strong like both.
Yeah.
All right.
Strong ball club.
I'm still not really focused after that last comment. But let's thank our sponsors, PJ's Pub in Cranston, 1139 Pontiac Ave. We've been there a lot, like a real lot as of late. And you know why? Because we love it. You know why? You get the best service, you get the best food, and it's just an overall good time. They have the games on all the screens. And you know what? And what I love most is like, if your game's not on, you just ask them and they switch it for you. Like they're all about pleasing their customers. And I want to remind you about their late night happy hour, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. In-house only, obviously. The $10 domestic beer pitchers, the 2 for $10 Tito's cocktails. That's a great deal. $10 wing baskets, which you know I love.
You do.
And I'm so proud of you. Most recently, you actually had a wing without
a fork and a knife,
yeah.
and I used my hands.
Yeah,
it was
really
a step.
Proud
it was
of
a
you.
big step for me.
$10 margarita pitchers and $10 seltzer buckets. As you know, they're open late night, kitchen open until 1 a.m. You want to say something?
Yeah, Jess, I think I was there. Well, every day. But the last time I was there, you know, sometimes I'm bored and I just see some of the little flyers on the bar. And I know you promote all the stuff, but I think this month of November it's $4 fireball shots.
Oh.
Now, I mean, I'm promoting it for everyone else, but I'm a little bit of a snob.
You're a Jack
a couple
guy.
of times they've run out of like the Jack Fire, and I'll drink the fireball.
Oh, you're so brave.
But I'm also not going to economize. I'd rather have my Jack Fire and pay top of the line.
Well, you're
Just
making
saying.
money.
Oh, you know what I'm saying. Well, I'm on vacation, so I could pinch a few pennies, but I want to live good. I only go around once. I can't take it with me.
Exactly. So PJ's Pub in Cranston, you'll never be disappointed. And most likely, if you go there, you're going to see us. All right, so let's get to very quickly, we're going to talk about the World Series.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Spores kicks and fires. He struck him out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series. Ranger fans, you're not dreaming. The Rangers are the World Series champions. After 52 years in Texas, 63 years of the franchise. The wait is over. And the celebration has begun.
Straight up 8 o'clock in the Mountain Standard Time Zone, 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 o'clock back home in Texas. Josh Sborz wraps it up, and the Rangers are your World Series champions. Can you believe it? Wow.
May the ghosts of 2011 be forever erased.
I don't know if we needed that whole time check, which, by the way, we got that extra hour of sleep. Hopefully, you know,
nice.
Everybody's like, oh,
Yeah.
I feel great about
Yeah.
today. But, so the series that no one watched, the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. Congratulations to the Rangers because that's who I picked.
You know, Jess, and you like their logo. I get it. All right, but this really starts at the top with Chris Young, former Major League pitcher, 6'10" former Major League pitcher. He's the guy, chief baseball operations guy. This started a couple of years ago. I told you when he signed Corey Seager for $325 million, went out and got Marcus Semien for something close to that, blew $500 million on 2 guys up the middle, and it worked out. But he kept going. Let me go out and get Bruce Bochy. I need the manager to manage this team, a guy with pedigree, three World Series championships in San Fran. So this was building for the last 2 years when they were losing 100 games a year. So this is a great thing. They went out, of course, got our guy Nathan Eovaldi from the Red Sox.
Good for him.
Who, of course, wins the clinching game, 5-0 in the postseason, and he's going to stop being mentioned in the history of postseason guys, along with some, with the Kurt Schillings and the Andy Pettits of the world, the guys, John Smoltz, guys that love the limelight. They may not be Hall of Famers, some of them, but Eovaldi's a guy you're going to remember when you talk about you talk about postseason heroes. Years later, you'll be talking about him, as will you be talking about Corey Seager, who's the shortstop. I had mentioned the aforementioned Seager, who signed for $325 million. He wins the MVP for the second time. I don't value the COVID year in 2020 with the 60-game season. That was lame. But this was...
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, this guy, there were no fans.
Yeah.
But this guy really lit it up again. 3 homers and 6 RBIs in the World Series. He scored 6 runs. He did it all for the Texas Rangers, and he is the MVP. So good. Congratulations to the Rangers. First World Series title in 62 years. They were the Washington Senators before that, managed by Ted Williams for a brief time.
Really?
Yes.
Look at you with the fun facts.
Yes.
We do have one more piece of baseball news. The Red Sox now have a new GM, but we don't call it a GM. What do we call him?
Yeah, they call it now Chief Baseball Operator. So it's somebody else in the organization. It could be Sam Kennedy, could be anybody, will be the general manager. The bottom line is Craig Breslow has been brought in. He will be making the decisions. Everybody will answer to Craig Breslow.
You want to hear a little bit from him?
I do.
Was I aware of the turnover? Of course. But, I think if you enter this position trying to hedge, trying to understand, what it would look like to fail, you're taking the wrong approach. I have confidence in my ability to execute this job. I have confidence in the people in this organization who have successfully executed in various roles in the past. And one thing that emerged through this process and spending so much time with John and Tom and Mike and Sam is is that resources are not a problem here. The commitment to winning from ownership is not a question here. And we had established a very clear alignment on vision and very clear calibration on where this needs to go.
Yes, and then we're going to take the antibodies and we're going to put them into the confidence builder.
He's a little annoying. He's annoying.
So he's another nerd. The thing about, like, there's no restrictions on spending the cheddar, okay?
Do it.
I just hit me right now. I'm thinking of Jerry Maguire and, of course, Cuba Gooding Jr., whatever you want to say his name.
Gooding.
Show me the money. Meaning, like, if don't talk about it, go out and make signings. Make shrewd moves, spend money, and be a heavyweight. Because, you know, when you're charging $11 for a sud at the game and $7 for a water, you got the money. Spend the money. Now, the reason why I do like the Brezzo, even though he's a little nerdy, and he sounds more like Bloom, actually, and I know he comes
How'd that work out?
Exactly, but I think it could be twofold here. He comes from Yale. I know he's smart. I'm not saying, like you said, I'm not going to hang out with him and drink beers, I don't think, okay? But the reason why I think he could work out is because he can be an analytic guy, but he was in the trenches. He was on the 2013 Red Sox team, the Boston Strong team. He was an integral part as a left-handed reliever for the Red Sox, so he knows both sides of it, to have that eye test, to go with your gut, too. So I don't think he's just going to go by the statistical stuff and being stat geeky. I think this is going to be a guy that can really, can read the room, and I think he could do a good job. It's just, I'm going to give him his shot, and it's just not a reserved right to judge right now, and just let it play out a little bit instead of saying, "Oh God." And I know you told me last week nobody wanted the job,
right?
But he was the guy, and the guy that they wanted. He comes over from the Cubs. He did a nice job in their front office. He is a smart guy, but I think he's also a guy who played and put the uniform on and knows what it takes to win, and that's important.
And you know what? If we went to PJ's Pub with him, I think if you bought him one Jackfire, he'd be annihilated after doing that shot. That's what I think. But if he's a smart guy, then that's all that matters. Do you think it's weird that John Henry didn't make it on time for the press conference and was 20 minutes late? Seems like a little disrespectful to the new guy.
Yes, Henry, even though it's his team and he can do whatever he wants, he continues to do things that make you say, you know what, if you don't want to be here, just sell the damn team. But right now, this is the play that's going to be made. Craig Breslow, congratulations on the gig, and let's hope that he can turn the things around. I don't know about right away, but with the resources they have, I'm hoping that they spend some money in the offseason and maybe use a couple of those prospects that have gotten better to flip it for some proven guys. They need pitching.
They need you to be happy when you go into the stands. They need wins for you. And I'm a Yankees fan, but I want you to be happy. You deserve it.
I am happy.
All right, I'm glad you believe in this guy.
Happy to be here with you.
All right, fantastic.
We had a couple of laughs today.
Oh my God, I gotta ask if that can even go on. All right, so we're gonna thank our sponsors. Then before we get to NHL, we're actually gonna be talking soccer. MLS actually is in playoffs, so we're gonna bring in Nick from New England Soccer Weekly, and he's gonna give us the rundown because we don't know anything. So let's thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Want to thank our sponsor, Prout Mechanical, located in Providence. You can call them up at 401-487-4343. Even visit them online at prouthvac.com. That's prouthvac.com. They're a family-owned company. They have over 20 years of experience. They're a Mitsubishi Heating and Cooling Diamond Elite contractor. They have the heat pumps, the mini-split ductless systems, and if you're looking to heat up your home, the mini splits are the way to go. They're located in Providence and they service all of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. They offer services for residential and light commercial. So if you are looking at getting those heat pumps or mini split ductless systems, may I recommend Prout Mechanical in Providence. Their motto, quality and customer service is their top priority. Call them up 487-4343. We also want to thank Second Time Around Sports with 2 locations in Cranston and in Wakefield. Both stores are fully stocked with every sport. And for those of you who love winter weather sports, well, Second Time Around, they got you ready for the ski and snowboarding season. Their stores are fully stocked with snowboards and skis. They have the goggles, they have the boots, they have the gloves, they have the ski poles. They got you covered. And I know a lot of people are talking about wrestling. They have all your mat needs. And they're getting busier as the holidays. If you want to think about doing some holiday shopping, head to Second Time Around. Both stores are filled with either new or used items. But if you're like, Jess, I want to go all new, but I don't want to spend the big prices of other stores, everysportforless.com. That's everysportforless.com. Follow them on social media, the number 2X Around Sports. We're talking soccer, and Nick from New England Soccer Weekly also has a show on 790 The Score on Saturdays. Thank you for joining us and enlightening us with soccer playoffs.
Thank you for having me back. Thank you for this fantastic merch.
Yes.
Looks good on you. Looks good on you.
I like it.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Good. It fits you right. The colors are fantastic.
nice.
Yes, very,
Get
very
the one
handsome.
shot. Nice.
They're
Very
very
good.
handsome. Steve's on the cameras. So what's happening? The Revs, how they doing?
Down to their last game.
Oh boy.
So the Revolution did make the playoffs. They're doing it a little differently in MLS this year, where the first round it's a best of 3. So
Okay.
you have to win 2 games to advance. I know it actually doesn't make much sense, but that's where we're at right now with soccer in America. So the Revolution lost their first game in Philadelphia. They're playing the Union right now. It's a 4-5 matchup. So these two teams are pretty similar. Revolution have had a lot to deal with on and off this field this season. But yeah, not the best result in game 1, but they come back to Gillette 10 days, 11 days later, which also doesn't make sense scheduling-wise, on a Wednesday night.
When it gets colder?
On a Wednesday night at Gillette Stadium in the middle of November. It makes. Yeah, I'm with you, but that's where we're at.
I love your new swag, but don't wear that shirt that night. You better have one of these hoodies and then something else over it by then.
No worries, I will not be.
So how are your feelings about? All right, so say the Revs win, what would be their next thing? Like, how far do you think they can go? I know you're a very positive person.
I am
You're like,
positive.
everyone goes all the way.
Yes.
But let's be a little more realistic. What do you think?
It's a very difficult path for
Okay.
a lot of different reasons. One of them being that even if the Revolution do get past this round, they're most likely going to face the number 1 seed in Cincinnati FC, which, in my opinion, has the best roster and has the best team in MLS right now. Could they beat them in a 1 game? Because then it goes back to 1 game. It's not a best of 3 in the second round.
What
It's
is
just-
going? This is why we don't talk about this. I can't even keep
This
up.
is why I'm here.
Yeah.
This is why I'm here.
This is why he's here.
But yeah, so they go down to a 1 and done. So again, just like in any sport, anything can happen when it's in that situation.
Right.
Cincinnati FC is better than the Revolution. But listen, the Revolution still have one of the best players in Carlos Gil. He got hurt last game, but will be back for this upcoming Wednesday. They have a lot of good veterans that have staved through a lot of controversy towards the back end of the season. So is it possible for them to make a run? I would say yes. Is it likely? Probably not.
All right. Well, I mean, you're going to be there covering it, right? On
I will
Wednesday?
be there on Wednesday night, yes.
Real quick, obviously, we don't talk a lot of soccer here on Keeping Score. I grew up, limited with soccer and golf. But I remember when Tiger Woods came on the scene, all of a sudden piqued my interest, got into golf big time with Tiger Woods. My question to you would be, obviously, I'm into Messi. I've heard rumors about somebody that they're adding to play with Messi, and he's sort of a name, too. Can you shed a little bit of light on who it is and what he's all about?
So, yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of players that are linked right now, but what Inter Miami has done, both in season and this offseason, is added players and names that both Messi knows and that the soccer community knows. And the overarching thing, regardless of the player, is that they're putting a team together to make a run now, which I think they have to do. This is a unique situation where you have the greatest player of all time in Lionel Messi coming into a league that still doesn't have the eyeballs that you would want on it almost 3 decades later. But for someone like yourself, you see Messi, it piques your interest, you're into it. And so what MLS needs now, just like in any sport, is for them to win. So how do you do that? You build this roster very quickly with Messi and all these players that he's comfortable with to try to make a run, because I mean, you want him to play in MLS forever, but the amount of time he's going to be on the field will probably be short-lived.
All right, very good. Well, listen, we're running late on the show, but I want to thank Nick for coming in. New England Soccer Weekly.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
That's every Saturday at 7 a.m. on
Correct.
790 The Score. So thank you for enlightening us. But we had I gotta run some things by you because Nick is kind of my boss, and I don't
he
know
makes the call?
that
Well-
last clip that we use. I don't even know if we can use it.
Nick, you'll hear about it later, but technically the things I said were just
No, they were-
lingo
it was-
I would use to talk basketball. There was no nothing malicious about it, but she took it and ran with it, so that's on her. But we'll figure it out.
couldn't help
No,
it.
because she couldn't keep a straight face. I was in my groove.
Well, if you're listening out there and it's cut out, you know it was my decision.
All right, she killed my hoop buzz, but that's okay. It's all good. Thanks, Nick, for coming on. We
Thanks, Nick.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to hockey right now.
He's sticking around. I think, his play, he earned it, right? I think we're comfortable with him. There's still no guarantees here the rest of the year, but we feel that the way he's progressed, that, for the time being, he's going to be a Bruin and he's helping us win hockey games, and that's the most important thing, right? He's still 19, so we're going to be cautious.
Which we're very lucky to have a kid that's 19 that's that good, that has gotten into the system and has fit right in.
Yeah, and he's going to mix in nice with the guys like Pavel Zacha, who's had a goal in the last 3 games. The Bruins continue to win, and you got a 19-year-old kid who seems like he's fitting in and gelling. So this is team's obviously they're out of the gates tremendous again.
Right.
They had that one shank game, but they won on Thursday night 3-2 in overtime against a very good Toronto team.
Yep.
Another team that's great during the regular season.
And they didn't have DeBrusque.
Yeah, true. They didn't win in the playoffs. Well, I thought DeBrusque scored in this game. He scored his first goal.
Who's the one that's on?
Lucic is out, and Matt Grzelcyk's out. And, of course, McAvoy's suspended.
McAvoy, that's the one, not DeBrusque.
So he's suspended for 4 games. They're very, very thin on the blue line. Grzelcyk got hurt, too, so they were a little thin at defense. They had to call a couple of guys up from Providence, but, hey, next guy up,
us, yeah.
So the Bruins at 9-0-1, they've been great. Swayman and Allmark have been great between the pipes. And, again, beating Toronto on Thursday night, that was a nice W. They won in a shootout in overtime. So I think Coyle and DeBrusque scored in that in the shootout. So great stuff for the Bruins early in the season. We're happy about it. And, obviously, trying to put last year behind us.
All right, very good. I'm sorry we can't talk much more about hockey because we're running out of time. We're going to go to birthdays, and then we're going to wrap things up. All right, so who was born on Sunday, November 5th, Dean?
All right, one of my favorite players of all time. I mean, he had foot injuries in his NBA career, but one of the great college players of all time. Bill Walton is 71 today, okay?
Oh, yay.
Hall of Famer, 2 NBA titles, 1977 with the Portland Trailblazers, in 1986 as Robert Parrish's backup center for the Boston Celtics. He had a little bit left in the tank and was an integral part of that team. One of the best teams of all time, the 86 Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put him up against some of your MJ teams of the 90s, I'm just telling you, okay? Of course, UCLA was part
Fighting words
he
at
was
the
part,
end.
He was part of the UCLA. He was 3-time Player of the Year in college, 72 to 74, and he was part of a UCLA team that won 88 straight games over 2.5+ seasons. So Walton, a born winner. Born winner. I love Bill Walton. Jerry Stackhouse is 49. Came out of North Carolina, and I mention him because I know you're a big Jordan fan. When he came out of Carolina, he was that high-flying type of shooting guard that everyone thought was going to be the next Michael Jordan. Okay, no.
Wrong.
No, but he did go on to have a nice 18-year career in the NBA where he averaged almost 17 points a game. He is currently the head coach at Vanderbilt University. He was the number 3 pick in the 95 draft. Got drafted, I believe, by the 76ers and did not get along with Allen Iverson, which is no shock.
Who does?
Jerry Stackhouse is 49. Your friend, Johnny Damon, is 50.
My
okay?
friend?
Well, he
Just
played a little bit for the
because,
Yankees,
yeah.
so you probably liked him when he went to the Yankees, and he had to cut his hair.
I like that he plays for the Savannah Bananas. Like,
All
he's
right.
done some stuff
okay.
with them.
Well,
yeah.
Damon, obviously, 2 World Series championships. He got one with the Yankees in 09, won it with the Idiots in 04 with the Red Sox, as they called themselves. That's
Yes,
not on me.
I know,
so
but I agree.
You don't have to can that one. Okay, 284 lifetime hitter with 408 stolen bases. He had almost 2,800 hits for his career. Johnny Damon is 50. Was a huge part of that 04 team for the Red Sox. He had the grand slam. He hit 7 RBIs in that final game at Yankee Stadium when the Red Sox finished it off. He hit 2 bombs, one off Vasquez and one off, I forget who the other pitcher was, but he was on fire that day.
Delcar will figure it out. He'll look it up for you.
I'll get the
He's about a
text.
stat guy.
I'll get the text soon. And then, of course, on the entertainment side, I'm going to leave this one for you. Kris Jenner is 68.
Okay, happy birthday.
I'm just going to leave that one there, okay?
Well, I like Kris Jenner.
That's why
it's not Caitlyn Jenner. We're
that's
talking
why I
about
just
Kris.
said I'm leaving that one to you. I'm not elaborating on that one.
I like her. She knows what she's doing, and she knows how to pimp out her kids. So she's making bank out of it, and she looks good doing it.
Pimping late innings here on the keeping score on the score.
She's a genius.
And of course, one rock singer, Bryan Adams, is 64.
Summer of '69 guy.
Yep, Summer of '69, and of course, I was about to. No, I was going to ruin the buzz by trying to sing a little.
Nope.
He is 64, but he had that other song that was real nice, like a love song that was really nice.
Yeah, from the Robin Hood
thinking
soundtrack.
about our younger years. We were only you and me. We were young. All right, all right. Yeah, what? You're looking at me like you're perplexed.
No, I can't think of it because of the birthday music playing in the background. It's all distracting me.
Oh,
yeah.
Thinking about our younger years. No?
Yeah, no, you're right.
I know I'm right.
I can't think of it. I can't. I'm really.
You're the DJ.
I'm tapped out.
I know I'm terrible, but you're the DJ.
I know.
How much time we got left?
We got 2 minutes.
All right, so I hate to do this because at the end I should put this somewhere in the middle. But
are you going to talk about Bobby Knight?
No, yeah, a couple of RIPs real quick. We forgot a couple of weeks ago.
I can't use this music for. Okay, go.
Burt Young passed away a couple of weeks ago at 83. Mm-hmm. Everyone remembers him as Rocky's brother-in-law in the Rocky movies.
But you remember him as?
I remember him. Not many people would say this, but I remember him, of course, as Bacala's father in The Sopranos. Okay, he had to do a hit. Mm-hmm. And then I also remember him as Rodney Dangerfield's limo driver in Back to School, one of the greatest movies of all time, one of the greatest comedies of all time. I swear by it. Burt Young was 83. Okay. And, of course, R.I.P. to Bobby Knight, the former Indiana coach, passed away at the age of 83 this week.
Yes.
3 3 national championships, 76, 81, and 87. The 76 team is still the last team in college basketball to run the table and go 31, 34-0. They didn't lose a game, so nobody's done it since.
He was very intense.
He's intense, and it's unfortunate that people remember. You think of Bobby
I know,
Knight.
but he was a good coach,
you think of Bobby
obviously.
Knight. You're thinking about the chair rolling across the court. You're thinking about him putting his hands on someone's neck, and he did a lot of bad. But he taught kids to be prepared for life. He was a tough competitor, and best friends with Bill Parcells, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
They seem like they would get
See
along
that
perfectly.
correlation,
yeah,
don't you?
definitely. All right, so we got 1 minute left. Let's put the good music back on. Reminding people that they can win a Keeping Score hoodie. So you can just go onto our YouTube, subscribe. That's one way to qualify. Also, follow us on Instagram, Keeping Score with Jess and Dean. Follow us, like the post, and then tag 2 friends, and that's your way to win. So there's 2 shots. Stop it. There's 2 ways for you to win a hoodie. We got 2 hoodies to give away. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to us on YouTube.
And then, of course, Jess, merch to follow down the road where people can order and support the cause and have a good time with us.
Yep, we're going to do a Venmo. It's going to be great.
What?
Everyone, don't worry about it. This is Keeping Score with Jess and Dean the Dream each and every Sunday morning on 790 The Score. Follow us wherever you find your podcast. And as I said, YouTube, Instagram, follow us, and we'll see if we get edited.
Have a great week.